Eastern Bosnia, 1995. Srebrenica was a small town surrounded by green hills and quiet villages. As war tore Yugoslavia apart, thousands of Bosniak families fled here, believing it would be safe. The United Nations declared Srebrenica a safe area. For desperate families, those words meant hope. The town was overcrowded. Food was scarce. Homes became shelters for strangers. Children stopped going to school and learned the sounds of war instead. Still, families believed the world was watching. They believed safety had a uniform and a flag. In July 1995, Bosnian Serb forces advanced toward the town. The UN soldiers stationed there were few and poorly equipped. As shells fell closer, panic spread. The safe area was collapsing. Tens of thousands fled to a UN base in Podakari. Mothers clutched their children. Fathers searched for space to hide. The crowd pressed against fences, begging for protection. The world was watching, but it did not intervene. Then came the moment that broke everything. Men and boys were separated from women and young children. They were told it was only for questioning. Mothers screamed. Sons were pulled from their arms. Fathers kissed their families goodbye, many for the last time. Thousands of men and boys fled into the forests, attempting to reach safety on foot. It became known as the Death March. They walked for days without food or water. Ambushes waited in the trees. Very few made it out. Those captured were taken to fields, schools, and warehouses. They were told to wait. Then shots rang out. One group after another disappeared. More than 8,000 men and boys were killed. The largest massacre in Europe since World War II. The bodies were buried in mass graves. Later, they were dug up and moved again to hide the crime. Bones were scattered across the countryside. Families would spend decades searching for remains, sometimes finding only a single bone. The women returned to empty homes. No husbands, no sons. They gathered every year, holding photographs of boys frozen in time. They demanded truth. They demanded justice. They refused to forget. Years later, DNA testing began to identify the dead. Each discovery reopened wounds. Each burial brought both closure and renewed grief. Some mothers buried their sons in pieces. As remains were found years apart, the world eventually named it what it was: genocide. International courts convicted those responsible, but justice could not return the dead. It could only preserve the truth. Today, thousands of white headstones stand in Podakari, each. One marks a life ended too soon. Most belong to boys who never grew old. They are silent, but they speak louder than denial ever could. Srebrenica was not ancient history. It happened while the world watched. It reminds us that hatred does not need permission, only silence. And remembering Srebrenica is how silence is broken. The boys of Srebrenica never came home, but their names remain. And as long as they are remembered, they are not lost to history.